Good morning. I'm Gary DeWaal, and this is Bridging the Week for July 8th through 12th, and today is July 15, 2019. Staff of the Securities Exchange Commission and the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority issued a joint staff statement setting forth concerns they have with the ability of broker-dealers to comply with the SEC's Customer Protection Rule in connection with broker-dealers' handling of crypto securities. However, staff offered no meaningful path forward. Separately, a major international derivatives exchange agreed to pay a fine of $150,000 to settle charges brought by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission that it made false statements to the CFTC in connection with a certification regarding its ongoing compliance with terms of a 2015 CFTC registration exemptive order. Today marks the end of Chris Giancarlo's leadership of the CFTC and the beginning of Heath Tarbitt's reign as chairman. So I can study tea leaves and assess where CFTC policies may be headed. Let's get started. SEC and FINRA staff issued a joint statement setting forth concerns that appeared to be delaying their approval of broker-dealers from facilitating digital asset security transactions for customers. Although the staff identified specific issues for broker-dealers to consider, they provided no clear path forward except where broker-dealer solely facilitates crypto security transactions on a peer-to-peer basis without exercising any control or custody. Generally, staff noted that a broker-dealer holding crypto securities for customers would have to safeguard such digital assets just like all other assets, namely separate from the firm's own assets, in order to enhance the likelihood of their return to customers in the case of a broker-dealer's failure. Staff noted that application of this requirement, commonly known as the Customer Protection Rule, has, quote, produced nearly a 50-year track record of recovery for investors when their broker-dealers have failed, end of quote. Staff suggested they are struggling with how broker-dealers might exercise exclusive and effective control over crypto securities as required under the Customer Protection Rule, as well as how they might produce accurate financial records reflecting crypto securities they may hold. Staff also considered how the securities industry's customer insurance regime, administered by the Securities Industry Protection Corporation, might apply to crypto securities. Staff statements were more a think piece than a roadmap. Meanwhile, the CFTC recently approved Eris Clearing LLC as a derivatives clearing organization to handle fully collateralized derivatives that may result in delivery of virtual currencies. The SEC and FINRA should consider how the CFTC became comfortable with many equivalent issues under its customer protection regime and leverage the CFTC's thinking to more broker-dealer involvement and leverage the CFTC's approach to move broker-dealer involvement with crypto securities forward. I have a lot more on this on the article version of Bridging the Week at www.bridgingtheweek.com. Check it out. The Korea Exchange, Inc. agreed to pay a fine of $150,000 to resolve charges that it falsely told the CFTC that it complied with terms of an exemptive order when it knew it did not. The Korea Exchange, a central counterparty clearinghouse, received an exemptive order in October 2015 authorizing it to clear swaps for U.S. persons because it was subject to comparable oversight by the Korean Financial Service Commission, its home regulator, as it would be if registered as a derivatives clearing organization with the CFTC. As part of its exemptive order, KRX was required to comply with, in all material respects, with the principles for financial market infrastructures adopted by the Bank of International Settlements and certify its compliance to the CFTC at least annually. According to the CFTC, KRX's certification in 2018 made false statements regarding its compliance with a certain requirement under the principles for financial market infrastructures when it knew or it reasonably should have known its statements were false or misleading. And finally, CFTC staff issued guidance authorizing future commission merchants carrying multiple accounts for the same person to treat each account as an account of a separate entity for purposes of disbursements under ordinary circumstances, subject to various conditions. Specifically, an FCM can remit funds back to a customer for an over-margined account, while another account is subject to margin call. This is a big change from formal guidance from the CFTC on this subject, and is materially different from guidance provided by the Joint Audit Committee, the Organization of U.S. Derivatives Self-Regulatory Organizations, issued just a few weeks ago. Well, that's it for this week's edition of Bridging the Week. As always, there's more information in each article, and more articles on the article version of Bridging the Week on the website. Check it out, www.bridgingtheweek.com. I'm Gary DeWaal. Have a nice week, and until the next edition of Bridging the Week, ciao!